Hello, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and today's class is just a well-rounded flow class for us. So we're going to start sitting like we do and sitting up nice and tall. And close your eyes. And as you're ready, hands to heart center, and take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Or maybe if this is earlier in the morning for you, you can set an intention for your whole day. And then we'll roll forward and make our way right onto table, hands and knees, wrists under shoulders and knees under the hips. We'll extend the right leg straight back behind, drop the outer right hip down, lift the inner right thigh up toward the ceiling. Keep your belly and your ribs drawing in. We're going to keep a nice, stable torso. And then we'll set that down. And now the left leg, straight back behind, point the toes down, squeeze the right hip in towards center, reach the crown of your head forward, extending through the torso but keeping it really, really, really stable, and release it down. And adding on, right leg back, from the inner thigh lifted, left arm forward, and extend. Reach through the arm and the leg, but keep lifting the ribs and the belly in so that your lower back doesn't overarch. So this is a strengthening one. Set that down. And the left leg back, right arm forward. So we're strengthening all the back muscles, and we're keeping the belly muscles engaged also to help us keep a nice neutral spine. And a nice stable torso and core. Let's release all of that down. Take a breath, and now right leg back again, left arm forward. Inhale, stretch out through the arm and the leg. Exhale, draw the elbow and the knee in towards center around the back. Inhale, reach everything out, drop the outer right hip down. Exhale, draw it all in, round the upper back, move slowly. Inhale, extend. Reach out, exhale, draw it in like you're moving through water. Good. Inhale, reach everything out and lengthen. And exhale, draw everything back in. Make yourself into a little ball. Inhale, stretch out. And exhale, draw it in. Pull the belly in strongly. Inhale, reach. And then set it down back to table. Take a breath. And inhale the left leg up from the inner thigh, outer hip drops, right arm forward, extend. Exhale, draw everything into center slowly like you're moving through water. Inhale, reach it on out. Exhale, draw everything back in. Inhale and extend out. Exhale and pull it into center. Inhale, reach, keep the belly lifted and the ribs pulling in. Exhale, draw it all in, pull the belly in even stronger. Inhale, reach out, extend, stretch. Exhale, slowly bring it all in. Inhale and reach out. Exhale and release it down. Take the hips back to the heels for a child's pose. Reach the arms forward. Spread out the fingers. Start to walk your hands forward so your wrists and your elbows come off the mat, and so your elbows are straight. Now, firming the arm muscles. The outer upper arm, the tricep firms in toward the inner upper arm, the bicep. As you press on to the base of the fingers, you'll lift the forearms away. And then come up onto the hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, downward dog. Make sure the arms are shoulders distance apart, the feet are hips width, and then you can start to bend one knee and the other to bicycle your legs. And then reach back and lengthen through your spine, through your legs. Then walk your feet as wide as your mat and then stretch back again. So if your hamstrings are a little bit tight, this should feel really nice, give you a good stretch in the legs. And then we'll take the arms about as wide as the mat. Maybe grab onto the sides of the mat if you feel like you're slipping. And if you have tight shoulders, this should feel really nice, like you can get some more space in your down dog. And then keep the arms, step the feet hips width apart, stretching back, still stretch out the shoulders and the upper arms a bit. And then we'll make our way back to just a regular down dog and ripple the spine forward to plank, lower all the way to the belly. And inhale, cobra, lift the hands up off the mat and press all the toes down, all your toenails pressing, tailbone toward heels. And then lower down, take a little rest. And then again, cobra, tailbone toward the heels, come all the way up into upward facing dog, look over the right shoulder. I'm sorry, this is a high cobra. Or you can stick with low cobra, but look over the right shoulder, stretch the neck, and lower down. And up again, lower high cobra, and look over the left shoulder. Try and roll both shoulders back as you look. And then lower to center. And then pressing into up dog now for real. Thighs and knees off the floor, or stick with cobra. And then tuck the toes, make your way into down dog, all the way back. So walk your feet a little bit closer to your hands. Reach your right hand back to your left ankle or leg and start to turn and look underneath your left arm. So you're twisted here. And then back to center. And the left hand over to the right leg, looking underneath your right shoulder, twisting. And the hips will stay level and we'll twist from above the waist, which is the safest way to twist, keeping the spine safe from release. And then look up, step or hop your feet forward. On your inhale, come halfway up and lengthen. As you exhale, fold in, hips over the heels. And press through the feet. Inhale, rise up, look up and lengthen. And exhale the hands to the heart. And take the feet together or hips width. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right hand down, reach the left arm over to the right. So feet together is a little too intense. Try feet hips width here. Stretching through the side body. Inhale, arms up again. Exhale, shift your hips over to the right, lean over to the left. So today's well-rounded flow class will be not super intense. Again, this is kind of our recovery week, so all the work we've been doing can get integrated into our bodies. So inhale, reach up. Exhale and fold in, hips over the heels. Inhale, come halfway up, and exhale. Lower chaturanga, shoulders no lower than elbows. Inhale, press up. Open the front of the body and exhale, make your way back into down dog. Right leg up, inhale, bend your knee and open up your hip. So take it over toward the left side, press evenly through the arms and the shoulders here. And then square off your hips and step it all the way up. Spin your back heel flat. Take your right hand on the inside of your right foot and lift your left arm up. Make sure your front heel lines up with the back arch. If your right hand doesn't reach the floor, put your right forearm on top of your right thigh instead. And then come on up on the inhale, warrior two. So you press into the front heel firmly. Extend out through the arms. Gaze over your fingertips. Exhale, take your hands down, move through chaturanga. Inhale, pressing up. And exhale, make your way back. Left leg floats up, inhale. Bend the knee and open up the hip. Take it off toward the right side, pressing evenly through the arms and the shoulders. Square off the hips, step the foot right in the middle of the hand, spin your back heel flat, take your left hand on the big toe side of the left foot and yawn your right arm open. Sink your back hip a little forward, make sure your knee is over the second toe. And again, if your hand doesn't reach the floor, you can hold on to your leg, or you can take forearm to thigh, press into the front heel, lift into warrior two, knee over the ankle, sinking in. Yeah, back arm as high as the front. Exhale, windmill down and lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, press up, and exhale, back into down dog. Couple breaths here, stretching back. Remember, resting is always an option. Look to the hands, step or hop your feet forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale to fold. Hips over heels if you can straighten the legs. Inhale, press down, reach all the way up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart. I'm going to take a quarter turn one way or the other. Step your feet out wide, feet parallel, hands to hips, toes will point in a little. Inhale, look up, exhale, shift the hips back as you lean forward, hands to the floor. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale to fold. So if you can straighten the legs, do. Firm the leg muscles, pull up on the kneecaps, and if your elbows bend, you can line up wrists under elbows. Inhale, come halfway up. Keep your right hand down, lift your left arm up and twist. So as you inhale, get nice and long through your spine. As you exhale, take your right hand over towards your left foot, or stay where you were, taking the twist a little deeper or not. Inhale back to center, right hand down, left hand down, right arm up. So inhale to get length. As you exhale, you can either stay or take your left hand over toward the right side. And then come through center, look up on the inhale. And hands to hips, exhale, come all the way up with a long spine as you inhale. Step or hop your feet together and come to the front of your mat. Inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana, sink back into the heels. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to look up and exhale, step or float, chaturanga. Inhale, pressing up through the hands and feet. Exhale, make your way into down dog. Inhale, right leg floats up. And exhale, step it all the way up. By the right hand, stand the ball of your back foot for crescent, high lunge. Make sure your knee is over your ankle here. Lengthen through the lower back and lift the belly. Exhale, hands to heart, and hook your left arm across for prayer twist. Keep the palms pressing together and moving right in toward the center of the chest. Or you can take your left hand to the floor and reach the right arm up. It'll take you in a little deeper, but continue to pull your right hip back so you can try and keep your hips nice and level. Back down to the floor, we'll step back and move through Vinyasa, or you can skip it and go right to down dog. Left leg floats up on the inhale. Exhale, step it up, stand the ball of your back foot all the way up into crescent, high lunge. Get length in the lower back, pull the left hip back, lift your frontal hip points up towards your lower ribs. So get some length, lean forward, keeping that length. Hook your right arm across and press your palms right in toward the center of the chest. Widen across the collarbones here. Stay with that, or scoot your right arm down to the floor, lift the left arm up a little deeper. Continue to pull your left hip back if you're going deeper, especially in the twist. And then we'll release that. Lower down, chaturanga, inhaling up. Or you can always skip it, go right into down dog if you wish. And breathing here. Right leg up on your next inhale, exhale, and step it up. Walk your back foot in a little bit, take it flat, and then bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way to standing. Line up your front heel with your back heel, or you can go a little wider. Arms out to a T. Either press your fists together behind your back, you can see, or your palms. So line up front heel and back heel. Make sure your left toes are facing the front left corner of the mat. Exhale, come forward any amount with a long spine. So we try not to round the upper back. Lengthen through the neck. So you're looking down towards your foot or your ankle. And then lift the shoulder heads up. Pull your right hip back as you come forward. You don't have to go all the way down. You can come halfway down. That's fine. And inhale, slowly come up with a long spine and release. We'll take the right hand to the lower back and lift the left arm up on your inhale. Hips and shoulders square to the front. Exhale, take your left hand down inside the foot, the big toe side or the little toe side, or your shin or a block. I'm going to pull the right hip back and then lift up through the right fingertips for twisted triangle. As you inhale, to see if you can get a lot of length through the spine as much as you can, lifting from and lengthening from your navel to your sternum. As you exhale, maybe twist a little bit more from above the waist. Good. We'll bend that front knee, lift the back leg up, and take the right hand to the low back and then lift that right arm up again for twisted Ardha Chandrasana. So we want level hips for this one. The left leg's being lifted from the inner thigh, the outer hip drops down. Bring the hand back, bend your right knee without touching it to the floor. Bring it forward, 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 forward. Oh, sorry, that was your left knee that you bent. Bring it forward, 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 and then landing in Navasana, boat pose. Sitting up tall, just a little Navasana. We're not going to hold this one for a super long time because we did so much great core work yesterday. Cross your ankles, pick up anything at all, lean forward, step or float back into Chaturanga. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, make your way back. Left leg up on the inhale. As you exhale, step it up by the left hand. Walk your back foot in about a foot. Take it flat. Come on up as you inhale. Nice long spine. So make sure you've lined up front heel and back heel. Your hips and shoulders square to the front. Bring your arms out. Either press the fists or the palms together. Pull the left hip back. Inhale, lengthen up tall. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Get length as you come forward. Crown of the head reaching down toward the floor any amount. Or you can just stop it halfway. Lift the shoulder heads and continue to pull your left hip back as your right hip comes forward. This is Parsvottanasana, or pyramid pose. Inhale to come up. And then take your left hand to the low back and reach up through the right arm. Take an inhale to lengthen. Keep that length as you extend forward. Right hand can come to the big toe side, little toe side of the foot, or the shin or a block. And then we'll pull the left hip back as you get ready to make your twist. So turning your rib cage and your chest, and then add your left arm reaching up. We want the shoulders in line with each other. Inhales, think about creating length, and exhales, think about twisting maybe a little bit more. And then looking back down, take the hands on either side of the front foot, bend the front knee a little so you can lift your right leg up from the inner thigh. Check to make sure your hips are level. And then we're going to twist to that same side and reach up through the left fingertips for twisted half moon. Reach through the back leg, extend through the crown of your head. Press some weight into the base of the big toe of the standing leg. Bring your left hand down. You're going to bend the right knee without touching it to the floor. Swing it through, sit your buns down, and Navasana, boat pose. So again, not a long hold here, just sitting up tall, long spine. And then cross the ankles, press down, lift up anything. Lean forward, step or float back, move through Chaturanga. Inhale, pressing up. Nice long up dog, and then exhale to down dog. And looking forward, we're going to come down up onto the knees. So sitting up onto the knees for Ustrasana. Take the hands to the lower back and press the thighs and hips forward gently as you lean back, but lift the chest up toward the ceiling as you lean back. So think about this as a nice wheel. Inhale, come up. So you can stay with that one, or lean forward again and reach for the feet. You can always tuck the toes under as well. Press thighs and hips forward. Let your head go back any amount that's comfortable. Imagine there's a string attached to your chest. You're getting pulled up. Squeeze the legs, come up both shoulders at the same time, and then sit back onto your heels. If you could reach your feet before, walk your hands back. If you couldn't, you can still walk your hands back, lift your hips up any amount off of the legs, or walk your hands all the way in and hold on to your heels that way. Notice if there's a difference between when you lean back and take the pose and when you walk forward. Sometimes we get compression in the lower back when we come by leaning back, but when we walk forward, we usually get rid of that compression. Now, sit your hips down either on top of your heels, and you can lean back any amount, or sit your hips in between your heels and lean back any amount. So maybe to the forearms, maybe you'll lie all the way back. If you lie all the way back, hold on to your opposite elbows in Virasana, Supta Virasana, lying down hero's pose. Now make sure that your tailbone reaches toward the backs of your knees so that you don't end up overarching through the lower back. And then come on up and shift your hips off to one side. And come onto your back and draw your knees into your chest. And rock yourself just gently, making circles on the lower back. And then you'll scoot yourself forward a little bit if you're toward the end of the mat. Extend the legs out and lift your legs up, keeping your hips on the floor or lifting over into Halasana, plow pose. Make sure you keep your chin away from your chest. If you have any pain in your neck, any discomfort, just come right back down. Either stay there or lift one leg at a time for shoulder stand, Sarvangasana. But again, if you've got any discomfort in your neck, don't take this pose. I can't stay here very long. I don't have a great neck for it, but I do like to get my legs upside down sometimes. So usually I like to practice this one on blankets, but I didn't have any outside. So making do. But if it hurts you, do not do it, please. Also important to not turn your head from side to side when you're in shoulder stand. So if you're not real familiar with it, watch first. Then you can come into it after you've seen what's going to happen so that you're not trying to look at the screen while you're in it. So we'll slowly make our way back into plow pose, Halasana. And maybe bending your knees any amount. Take them down around the ears, squeezing, or maybe just bend them a little. This is called Karnapindasana pose. And then extend the legs out, start to roll yourself out. Put your hands underneath your hips as you roll out with straight legs to protect your back. And then press all the way up onto the forearms and the elbows. Lift your chest and reach the crown of your head back for Matsyasana, fish pose. And then we'll release that. Bend your knees, take your feet as wide as the mat, and let your knees drop off to the left and turn to look over your right shoulder. You can also rest your left heel on top of your right knee if you want to come in a little deeper. And then go into the other side, knees over to the right looking left, maybe with the right foot resting on the left knee. And then happy baby. Take the pinky toe sides of the feet. I'm going to take my leg warmers around my feet again because my feet were cold. I love the leg warmers. Thank you, Chrissy. Email me if you're interested in any leg warmers. I've been wearing them a lot, I know. I really can't stop. All right, so we're going to extend the legs out and make our way into Shavasana pose. Allow your feet to just flop open, your arms by your sides with your palms facing up, and just resting. And while you're here, I'm going to read our quote now. This is another quote today from Dorian Israel. This is one of her passages that she has translated from the Tao Te Ching. This is passage 8. The Tao, which the word Tao, it means the way or the natural order of things. Okay. The Tao is like water. It flows endlessly from an unseen source, constant in its movement. It continually changes courses, nourishing all things generously. It takes no credit. It is never at a loss. Beginning at its highest point, it gathers itself at its lowest level. In dwelling, live close to the earth and stay grounded. In thinking, keep your mind open and your thoughts high. In meditating, breathe into your being and expand your inspiration. In speaking, voice your truth and hold your tongue. In relationships, be generous and allow for growth. In work, make all things your labor of love. Trust your divine nature. Disentangle from external demands. The Tao is content to be itself, neither competing nor comparing. In search of nothing, it finds everything exactly as it should be. Begin to reawaken your body. Reach out through your fingers, toes, stretch your arms overhead. Bend your knees, roll off to your right side. Pausing for a moment to come back and honor the intention you set. And slowly, carefully press yourself up to seated. Bring the hands together in front of your heart, honoring, respecting yourself. Bring our hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. And hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. And I honor you for your practice. Thank you so much. Let's send all this wonderful energy out to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Great job. If you liked today's practice, please push the like button and subscribe and tell your friends. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful, lovely, beautiful, inspiring comments. I love all of them. And If you can afford any sort of a donation, there is a link below, a donation link, and all the donations are so welcomed and appreciated so that we can try and get our free yoga to as many people around the world as we possibly can, because I really think the more people who practice yoga, the happier the world will be. That's my thought. I bet you probably feel that way too. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to leave my email address below. Please send me a message if you have questions or anything. Bye.